Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the most momentous meeting of the Woodstock Town Board for the year 2015 is about to commence. Everybody hold your breath. Now it's publicly heard. No, it's not. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Andromeda ring dance?
Andromeda ring dance?
Yes.
Born with it?
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Come right up here and get right on camera and you can speak.
So, I'm here to talk to you about my brother, Orion, ring dance.
I know your brother.
Yes. He's 30 years old. He walks around Woodstock since his early 20s, very sick because he is diagnosed with schizophrenia and has other illnesses, and he continually is being arrested for trespassing. He is probably going to continue to be trespassing because I truly don't think he understands that he's not supposed to be in company farms, which I think was the last place he was, where he was not supposed to be, or at Woodstock Commons, he's not supposed to be, or, you know, all these different places in Woodstock that he's not supposed to be. But since he grew up here, this is his home, and we were born here, literally at home in Woodstock.
I know who you are. I know who your mom is.
She was actually-
Mother's walking in. She's walking in
I was
as
gonna
we're
say, she
speaking.
should be here any moment. So I'm just asking for help because I don't know what else to do. I don't want to see him incarcerated over and over, so I'm just asking, is there anything else besides continually arresting him and putting him in jail?
Well, let me ask you a question. This is a very interesting issue for me. I know who your brother is very well. And the thing is, of course, when people, trespass on other people's property, those people certainly have a right to, to feel protected and safe on their property.
Right.
And that goes for your brother or you or me or any of us who trespass on other people's property. I want you to know that our police department, every single member of our police department, has been especially trained to deal with mental ill people. So your brother's not going to get shot dead. I absolutely promise you. No, I mean that. Because there are communities where, because your brother's a big boy.
Yes.
I'm sure very intimidating. I know, he's as gentle as a lamb. I know that. And we know that. And the police department is aware of that. And I'm just saying, we train them for these kinds of things. And however, at the same time, trespass is trespass, whether he means it or doesn't mean it. But if somebody who owns a property says, I want you to leave, and they don't, they go to the police. Now, my question is do these always lead to an incarceration with a trial date and a sentence, or does it more often lead to the 6th floor of Bellevue Hospital?
No, he is not.
Benedictine.
No, he is not put in the hospital.
So how often is this, what usually happens?
He usually gets a court date, doesn't show up because he doesn't remember if he has court, or even if he remembers he has court, my mom drives him, he doesn't want to walk in, and for whatever reason, he doesn't go to the court date. I went to the police station and asked them to take down my information, my phone number, and ways to contact me at work, at home, everywhere. And that I asked if he's doing something where he is breaking the law. I realize the police have their job to do as well, but I was just asking because he was evaluated in the jail, and they said that he totally understands the charges against him. In spite of that evaluation, he's walking around Woodstock picking food out of the garbage when he has a place to go, he has a home to go to, and he has food available to him, but he's walking around Woodstock talking to himself. He walks into the road. I'm concerned about his safety, which I have many times voiced to the police, which they are also worried about him at times, and it's very, very hard to put him in the hospital.
Yes.
If they do ever put him in the hospital, they never hold him more than 72 hours, and usually not even then. He will sign himself out.
Yes.
He does not want to be on medication. It's a difficult situation. It's very
ready to go. So what you're suggesting is that if the police were to contact you,
Well,
that you could talk them off of whatever,
to try
whoever's
to let us
property.
come and pick them up and intervene and do something before the law.
And have you given them your contact information?
Yes. They've never called. They don't give us.
Perhaps we could have a private meeting. I think we can generally.
But I'm.
We can't
open
resolve
to-
it here tonight.
Right, but I'm just asking for other people's ideas of what to do, because this situation is not just my brother's situation. A lot of families who have a family member who's very mentally ill can't get them help.
Yes.
So I'm not the only family member
No,
in
you're
this
not.
situation. I'm just asking for ideas and saying that I'm open to
Mhm.
any suggestion.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess my question was, I didn't know whether you spoke with family of Woodstock at
Yes.
all? So you have reached out to people that are in the profession, and their advice?
If he is a danger to himself or others, to call the police and ask them to.
And they don't have any other advice besides that in terms of how he could live a better life in this situation?
There's the issue, and I'm very aware of non-compliance. And I know what that means to a loved one, of someone who's mentally ill.
Well, it's.
I just want you to know again, as far as our police department is concerned, they are specially trained for these matters. So it's true that maybe some things that you could all consider and agree are unjust may happen to a loved one, but he will not be harmed, not by the police department.
I can guarantee you every police officer I have ever interviewed with this board to hire, the first question they ask them, or the first thing they mention is that we're looking for police officers to report police officers and social worker. It's very important to this board, and always has been.
But aside from arresting them, I'm asking if there's anything else.
Let's,
Well, let me ask you this. I shouldn't say ask you this, but here's another extenuating circumstance. If the property owner insists on pressing a charge, then that's kind of out of everybody's hands. But again, if we'll have a conversation with our police chief, we will get back to you and we'll tell you something. And I hope it'll be
I'm
enough.
sorry, but.
No, you didn't.
No.
No, it's an important issue.
let me ask, have you tried reaching out to the different places where these issues have happened?
Mental health, yeah.
No, I mean like CVS,
Property
the
owners.
property owners.
No.
You know, maybe if you gave them the contact information, maybe the first thing they could do is call you
Instead of the police.
I contact them and try that. I'm not exactly sure who all of these people are, and I contact them, but I can certainly.
Yeah, I think we will try and do everything we can with our police to make sure
How are you?
that this is handled for you. And of course, I remember you on the back of your mother's bicycle. And I always envied your strength as I saw you pedaling up the hills. I said, I can barely get my kids out of the car, and I was watching you bike. So it's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yes.
Can I do that?
Sure.
You can also contact me when my daughter is working, because I have a cell phone, and I can pick up my son too. I'm the mother.
Give Jackie the contact information there.
All right.
And Robin,
I will write
this is my email address. Why don't you shoot me an email tomorrow, just let me know that you're at the town board meeting, and then I can help you get some contact information as to where you might want to start with different agencies in town that have been affected.
Okay.
Dr. Richmond has been Orion's doctor since he was born, since the drummer was born, 38 years ago. He wrote this, and the court threw this out. They said, well, he wasn't the doctor who examined him, so it's worthless. But it's not worthless. Patient is schizophrenic and is not on his medication. He has zero insight into his condition and is not medically competent to understand what's happening around him. He cannot possibly understand the charges brought against him. Orion has been diagnosed with Lyme disease, but did not take the medication prescribed. In fact, still needs a full treatment protocol. He has also significant vitamin D deficiency. I strongly advise the court to seek psychiatric evaluation and consult ASAP with the ACT program. This is a patient who sleeps in the street even though he has a home and a supportive family. He is no way competent to face any court proceedings. He is in need of medical and psychiatric care and supervision. Now, according to the court of Woodstock, he has had to pay $455 to Judge Husted in court fees, $740 to Judge Engel, total of $1,195 in court fees. He does not understand, because I've told him 100 times, go to the court at a certain date, and I've dropped him off in town, and in 1 hour you have to go to the court, and he doesn't go. He does not understand. Their psychological evaluation that he is fine is totally not correct. Here, Dr. Richmond said he does not understand what's happened, which is true. The day before he got arrested at Cumberland Farms, I said to him, I dropped him off, I said, I have to go to Cumberland Farms to get gas in my car. You are not allowed in Cumberland Farms. Don't go there. So, I think he needs psychiatric care. I wrote a letter to Woodstock County about it because he's spending all his money paying court fees, keep getting arrested. This is not the place for him. I don't know the answer. He does not cross the mental health line of being a danger to himself or others, so they can't put him in a mental hospital. I don't know what to do, but I know that he is not going to jail. And over, I said, I don't know what to do.
Want to start, can you give me your phone number here, we'll have something.
I heard his idea is pretty good. I would come and pick him up. I have a farm. I'm home all the time, so I could pick him up anytime. So he can get arrested.
May I ask a question? Who's paying the court fees if he's not working? Are you?
No, yeah, I'm his payee for the SSI check. I take it out of his SSI check.
Oh,
And he paid
so it's a hardship.
$1,200 we just talked about. That's like, but he doesn't understand. He said, how can he do the same thing again? So somehow this community, he used to be like a really, really wonderful person, intelligent, helping people all the time, growing flowers and doing listening to classical music. This is my real son. Then something happened, he had a mental breakdown, and I was in the streets, eating out garbage can. Why? I have food in my house. He had a bed, he had direct TV, he has his own little house, bathroom, running water. Why is he in the streets? Because he stopped treatment too early. The ACT program. The ACT program said to me, if he was in the mental hospital, they could sign him up for the ACT program again, so we could get him to the
Well, and then nobody can force him to take medication without a rigorous procedure.
But once he gets into the mental hospital, the ACT program said they can approach him and sign him up again. And they did that there. He stopped too soon.
Well, you have all my sympathy, you have all our sympathy. And we'll try to take care of this small part of it the best we can. And I give you both just a great deal of credit for being so loving and supportive that you want.
And Bill Risk this year, she knows about the effects of Lyme disease. She's an alternative doctor, so I'm going to speak about how Lyme disease is affecting.
I just am here on his behalf. He used to play with my son. My son is also 30. His mom used to drop him off and they would play together and have overnights. It was perfectly fine. In my estimation, he has the highest titer of Lyme that has been seen in Dr. Wisman's office. I think the change in the schizophrenia and the changes came about because he hasn't treated it. I had Lyme, I treat Lyme with an acupuncturist, and I know how debilitating it is. I'll have a key in my hand when I listen to the height of my line and wonder where the keys are. The toxicity to the brain is just unbelievably mind-boggling. You don't have a mind. I think this is what we're seeing. And I'm just, again, here to support him. If there was any way that the community could set up, I don't know, I'm willing to give my services. And the way that I overcame my Lyme debilitation was, it was a right machine, which is not, again, AMA approved, but it's the only thing that gave me my Lyme back. And I'm 69 years old now, but I'm just here on his behalf to say that he was, up until I knew him playing with my son, there were no problems at all. And they're both 30 years old, and I've known Orion now for many, many years. And the change has come about since the Lyme problem seems to be, to me, the underlying issue. So,
What's your boy's name?
Brandon Rist. Yeah, he's a skier now in Stovermont, but he went to school, graduated in psychology, and he's doing very well. So they were childhood friends, and I hate to see what I'm seeing now in the Lyme, but it mimics the Lyme personality so exactly that it seems to me that that's what's going on. So for my 2 cents worth, knowing that that could be the underlying issue, I'm going to offer some assistance, and then I think that if the board could be lenient and let the, if we could get in touch with the people that are talking about the trespassing at the gas station and the other people, that maybe they could have a little more understanding.
Listen, we're going to do our best.
Yes.
We're going to do our best.
Yes, I'm here again just for this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stephen Granby.
Oh, there it is, trouble.
I saw him walking in.
I haven't seen everybody in a while.
How are you, Steve?
Just three small things, really. One, I've been talking to some of the board members individually, but it was like, I was getting a little bit of the minutes were really not up to date. Town board had published 30 minutes on the website. I think
They're there now.
They're up there now.
Yeah.
Didn't Carrie
we
have a
listen-
problem with her computer? Carrie had a problem with her computer,
I mean,
and
Well,
lost
and
everything.
but it's a nice way to keep in touch with what's going on in the town. And then the other boards are, some of them are more up to date than others. So I just ask you to kind of like check in every once in a while.
Once they get approved, it's not when after the meeting, it's once those minutes get approved, do they get posted?
Yeah, I think there's even a delay on, there's been a long delay on that, but people have talked to us. The other thing is the town board meetings, they haven't been on TV, and they haven't been, nothing put up on YouTube. It seems the library does a pretty good job of getting their stuff up there. So
Is
just,
that right? They're not even going up on YouTube?
haven't been up there in 7 months.
Uh-huh.
It was the last time anything was put up there. So I think that's.
When we get our TV channel back up and operating, we hope this October. We also hope to have this whole connection between us and the station reestablished.
If there's any teenager
And then
who seems to have their stuff up.
Yes.
Maybe we need the teenage.
That's the problem, we're all too old. We're way too old.
But it'd be nice just to be able to keep track of what's going on in town, so I think maybe we should all maybe look at it every once in a while and see whether they're up there or not. Maybe when's the last one in, because, and try to get them up on, on the schedule. I know they're up on the carousel, which means you have the tapes, but they're not up being broadcast at this hour, I believe.
Not live.
They're not live, so if you're not watching it, I don't know, whatever time it is, 1 o'clock on a Saturday or something. And the third thing is, the third thing I got interested in was, New York State, I think, is one of the minority of states in the country that does not have any early voting. It's with people's busy schedules and stuff, also it's very hard to show up, on election day between the hours. And the only thing New York State in many ways seems to be a very backwards place. You only get an extra ballot if you have a cause, for a reason. And a lot of times you might not know what your schedule's going to be in time to get it. So I've asked local assembly and senators, what their positions are. They seem to not really have any much anything to say about it. But I just asked the board members to consider it, and to maybe as an action, since we do every once in a while take positions on things that don't directly affect
Early voting?
on early voting. And then New York State should have some form of early voting.
Sure.
I mean, there are many variants. I would recommend one over the other, but I think it's really as a form of democracy. I think it's really important But people, so if you can bring it up at the supervisors meeting, each one of you is, bring it up, I think it's something that would be very helpful. If New York State actually put that in.
Now, I personally support often voting, but I don't see why we can't put early voting in too.
As a true Chicagoite, for early vote often, right?
So what are you saying about the absentee ballot? You're saying it's hard to get an absentee ballot?
I said you can, no, it's not hard to get, you're just gonna get it, but they only give them out for cause, you have to have a reason. Like, I'm gonna be away, or do I have a work schedule, you have to know, and I think you have to apply for that, I don't know whether it's a week or so before the election.
But if you did early voting, when would you be voting?
Well, there's many different forms of it. I mean, some states have the polling places open a couple of days, some states allow you to come get a ballot that you can mail in. Some of them, there's pros and cons. Some states allow it up to 45 days before the election, which some people feel is too early because so many things can happen. So I think it's a thing that has to be considered and measured, and an appropriate one. I don't advocate any one particular form of it, but just allowing it between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. on a specific day, given the way people do. We're not farmers, we're not working all in factories anymore, so I think it's an outdated concept. So anything that promotes people being involved, I think is good. I think New York State should move ahead, since many other states have already moved ahead.
There's also a Bernie Sanders suggestion to make it a holiday, election day.
A paid holiday.
Town of Woodstock.
Town of Woodstock holiday, yes.
Just one item on absentee ballots. I mean, if you apply by mail, is it like, well, you can walk in the day before the election and vote by absentee ballot.
You just get one.
And you walk in and vote, where do you have to walk in?
The Board of
Board of
Elections.
Election, Ulster County and Kingston.
If you get to that, Kingston.
Yeah.
But you
Well,
can get
it's
it
still, yes, technically, yes, but it's still something that's not quite as unknown and as cumbersome.
Right, I mean, it's not the same as early voting or mail-in voting for that matter.
Right.
Nor
Or
about
online voting at some
Yeah,
point.
right.
If the Russians don't hack us, so it's.
It's a
Thank
good
you.
idea.
Our assembly has a tough enough time to study the dates for elections.
Yes. Well, it would be nice if they were all around a time and date. I never understood why they have such a spread of dates, but I'm sure there's some historical reason why.
I'm sure.
Yes. Okay.
Can I just
Thank you.
point out that the meetings are on the radio available to everybody at 9 o'clock every day that there's a meeting. We broadcast it on 104.1 FM. That's open and recorded.
And thank you for that.
And when's that royalty check coming?
Yeah, that's the financial officer of that town thinking.
Okay, I have an announcement to make, which is on August 24th and August 27th, the town of Olive will perform work on Piney Point Road, which will cause its closure to traffic between the hours of 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. on those days, August 24th, 25th, 26th. 27 is iffy, but it's, just figure the 27th, good job, man's late. Woodstockers who transit Colebrook Road to Route 28 in Boyceville will be affected. So please be advised that an alternate route for the hours of the 4 days the outer portion of the road will be closed. So again, those hours are 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you take Colebrook Road to Route 28, or if you take Route 28 to Colebrook Road via Piney Point Road, just note on August 24, 25, 26, and possibly 27, the road will be closed from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. And there, my members of the press, is your headline.
I thought it was
Because
that
it's
you
all
want to
downhill
take
from
off
there.
for election day.
There's also a sign that's posted on Stock Hill Road right before Jockey Hill, announcing that road is going to be closed beginning August 24th. I don't know any details.
Just for
about
one day?
it. I don't know, I just saw the sign this morning. I was
Oh,
driving
okay,
down.
that's not Stockville Road, but we can ask him.
Okay, I'd like to offer the following resolutions. Be it resolved to accept minutes for meetings held on July 21 and August 11, 2015. All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved to accept the town clerk's report. All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved to authorize transfers per the transfer sheet. All in favor?
Aye.
Be it resolved to authorize payment of audited vouchers in the amount of $202,508.70. In favor?
Aye.
Be resolved to establish capital project number .77, the Erie Hill Road Bridge Capital Repair Project, for an estimated cost not to exceed $287,997. And be it further resolved, the transfer from capital project number .75 Chestnut Hill Bridge replacement to project .77, the sum of $103,700. And be it further resolved, the transfer from project number .76 McDaniel Road Bridge replacement to project number .77, the sum of $184,297. And be it further resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Second, I have a question.
Yes.
How did you come up with that estimate?
287,997?
Yeah.
Well, if you add 103,700, it's
So there was
185,297.
no, you just added those numbers?
Yes, we're just taking those money from those projects. And so, and what we're doing is we're swapping the order of bridge replacements. Originally, we were going to go McDaniel and then Erie, but we're trying to get Erie done this year and McDaniel next year. All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved to authorize the supervisor to sign the following change work orders for the community center project.
Oh, boy.
Don't, that's the way it printed out,
Oh,
Karis. So it's number
Hold on.
GO 34.
Hold on.
That's the only
Okay.
thing that's in there. There you go.
Number GO-34 and number GO-35, new contract sum as a result of change work orders, $944,109.62. Original contract sum, $976,400. And number E-006, new contract sum as a result of change work orders, $264,518.84. Original contract sum, $297,175.
Sounds like some nice savings.
I was going to say, did anyone complain having this money back?
All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved to accept the resignation of Joseph Murray III as Woodstock Justice Court Security Officer effective August 5, 2015. In favor?
Aye.
Be resolved to hire Jessica Ellsworth as part-time cleaner at the rate of $12.72 per hour effective immediately. In favor? Aye. That is all our business.
I have one little simple question.
Yes.
Since I've been meeting with all the seniors on and off, I'm meeting with another group tomorrow at 11:30.
Class E, in favor?
Yes, the people who do the dance program need some kind of adapter that goes from if they're in the back room, it's fine, they can plug right into the big main box. But if they're in the big room, they have to use some of the things that are put in front on the side of the stage. Patrick said there's some kind of an adapter. I don't know, I would go buy it tomorrow, but I don't know what to get.
Does it Patrick know?
Patrick probably knows. Can we send Patrick?
Patrick? Yes.
Can we
We'll
send,
send Patrick.
can we send Patrick to pick that up? Because the dance,
How long a cord do they need? You know? I mean, is it just that,
no, they
this is
just
for
need
their
an
iPod?
adapter so they can put their iPod in with music. Because otherwise they would just use their own little phones. Just a minor problem. But everyone who's been in the building, using it for classes, has told me that it's gorgeous, beautiful, they love it. And I was at a Ulster County Women's Network meeting tonight, and several people have been in classes, and they just think it's phenomenal.
There's also, I've had a couple of calls about storage, so at some point
Yes.
we need to sit down and figure out for some of these groups, and some of the student groups, senior club that needs there.
Well, since we
And they had some
yeah.
storage there before.
Yeah, in fact, I spoke with Jeremy today, we probably have to get some kind of a lock for some of the kitchen cabinets, because some of the groups want to lock up their pots and
But I'd
whatever.
like to look, there must be some kind of clasp that we could put on there that we don't have to screw on, like a lock.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a little bicycle.
Like a bicycle lock?
Well, that did open up a little bit, but I was thinking a long hasp lock that would go through both handles. Same idea.
And somebody asked me today if they could reach the closet, and they were 5'2". And I said, I'm 5'4", and I can reach the closet, but I can't speak for someone who's 5'2". So, I'll try and settle that question tomorrow, and someone 5'2".
Sounds like you're gonna have to reach into the capital project for elevator
Steps.
shoes.
Yeah, a little stressful.
Platform shoes.
Anyways, I told them we could give her the
Pogo sticks.
And
No, I've heard before.
Yeah, no, I took it serious.
Yeah, with our
Took it serious. seriously. She wants to be able to reach out. She doesn't recline well on those stools. But anyways, so I'll meet again tomorrow with another group, and the storage closets were empty of the chairs, so that they're on, the front and back. So that storage closet is pretty empty, and should be more than sufficient for the people who need storage.
Did the metal shelves go over there yet? The metal
I
shelves?
don't know, I didn't check it out. I'll be there tomorrow, 11:30.
I didn't see them there yet, so this morning.
Do you think they're gonna be good enough for the easels?
Oh, I think so. The nice
Okay.
pictures.
All right, well then, in that case.
They're going to the back closet.
Yeah, the back one. That's all I have.
You don't have those shelves reserved for anything, do you?
Once
Those shelves downstairs?
Oh, please, please. There's shelves upstairs also.
Oh, good.
It might be a little bit, well, they're not real high, but well, they're not wet. So drier up there.
So wait a minute, you guys didn't speak tonight? I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah, we're being good.
Along the meeting.
I don't.
Okay, my lawyer told me not to stir the pot.
Yay, you're a lawyer.
So,
Well, I do want to say, if I could, Volunteers Day was great. I know Kathy and Bill and I were all at Volunteers Day, and I wanted to say thank you to everybody that put on Volunteers Day, but also thank you, the list of volunteer organizations is over 60, and it's a pretty impressive list of the volunteers that help this town out. So just a thank you to all the volunteers who volunteer in those 60-plus organizations, but a thank you to everybody. It was a big job to put the day together. There was food, there was music, there were tents, there were people, helping out and checking people in. There was the emergency vehicles right there, and then the fireworks at night put on again by a lot of volunteers.
Just me is before the rain.
And it stopped when they finished.
Yeah, exactly. The first fire went up, and it was a drip of rain, and drips of rain, and the last fire went up, and then the rain stopped.
Yeah.
But it was spectacular anyway, so it was a great thing.
Board though?
It was
Yes.
beautiful when it
I thought that was one of the best shows.
It was, you know what, because the sky gets really nice and dark, so they
Yes.
really
And
shine.
I think that it was beautiful when it rained, but
Yeah.
I also want to thank family for taking over a lot of Volunteers Day. It sure made Sam's and my life a lot easier this year, even though we were still very involved. But family did a great job, and I thank them for taking over the project, the event.
should we enter into the minutes, the Alf Everett volunteer
Oh,
year
absolutely.
award winner, Mike Benson?
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yay!
I would like to request if I could.
Was he
have
there?
2 minutes, because it's very hard for me to get here, I am in the car.
Go ahead, take your 2
Walking
minutes.
for the last 25 minutes. Thank you. She was up at my house at like 2 minutes to 7, and I didn't get here till 25 minutes. Thank you. Okay, glasses on camera, not my phone, but anyway, 2 minutes, here we go, ding ding. I would like to mention the library vote is, I'm almost sure, it's September 3rd from 12 noon to 9 p.m. that people come out and vote. I also think that Ken Panzer's letter to the Woodstock Times, like promoting Joe Fisher, is possibly another one of his spins to make it like he supported Joe Fisher. We would say, well, if he's with Joe Fisher, I'm not voting for Joe Fisher. And I think Joe Fisher is an excellent candidate for the library board, so don't be turned off because Panzer's supporting her, although I'm glad he's supporting her. Smart meters, I think this town board, except for Jay Wayne, needs to realize that Ken Panzer, again, not really sending his own thing, making it look like it's town thing, representing the town, and it isn't, and putting a monkey wrench in something that's a global issue and dangerous. The ADA I'm working on as best that I can. I think it's great that you're trying to do something. I hope you're sincere. And I've had an issue in this town for 3 years with fences that McKenna knows about that I can barely get anywhere, including the food store. And I'm going on public record with it, and I think that 2 minutes is probably up. Thank you.
Lisa, could I comment for a second on that?
You don't talk to me now after ignoring me for 2 years.
No, I haven't ignored you for 2 years, and my advice to you continually has been to contact the county. I reached out to John Gregorius, the county legislature, and raised this issue with him and said you would get in touch with him. To my knowledge, you haven't done that. I would also say that anybody walking Ohio Mountain should call up, because I believe the county is looking at that lower section along the stream, needs to have some kind of retainer wall built. This is the perfect opportunity, and the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Reach out to them. It's not a town road. I can't wave a wand and do anything, but the county can. And this is the time. Anybody else who walks on that road should reach out to Mike Klein and should reach out to John Gregorius.
But he just said does not represent me at all, he did not get back to me, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, there needs to be a retaining wall, there also needs to be whoever gave the permits in the first place to the person who put the fences up, it's not the property owner's fault.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Move to adjourn?
Second.
Right.
Thank you.